you're fighting for more. Fourth down territory, the line is drawn. With Ryan F, the game rolls on. Hard and grit under Sunday night skies. It's do or die where champions rise.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of Four Down Territory. I'm your host, Ryan Neff, here on the Cole County Entertainment Network, partnering with Goose Media, with Mr. Goose out there in Limerick, Pennsylvania. Limerick Royersford, whatever address it is. Sometimes it says Limerick, sometimes it says Royersford. But welcome. All things NFL. Probably a quick show today, but free agency is upon us. Well, let's go over some of the news and notes from around the league today. The Patriots going to release Stefon Diggs after just one season. Doesn't surprise me. His salary cap charge was set to rise from $10.5 million to $26.5 million, according to Mike Reese, which was the catalyst for the move. If he had been on the roster by the end of this week, he would have had an additional $6 million of his guaranteed contract. Diggs posted on his Instagram, "Thank you for a hell of a year. We family forever." Remember last year he signed a 3-year, $69 million deal with the Patriots. But if you also remember, he is facing felony strangulation charges and other criminal charges stemming from the alleged dispute with his personal chef. Did he secretly replace your Folgers crystals with something else? Diggs has pleaded not guilty to the charges. He is next scheduled to appear for a pretrial hearing April the 1st. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. My Kansas City Chiefs, they have traded Trent McDuffie to the Rams for 4 draft picks. I like the move because I think they only had 6 picks in this year's draft. Reported by Sarah Barshop and Nate Taylor, who report on the Chiefs for ESPN. They are sending McDuffie to Los Angeles for a package of draft picks that includes the number 29 selection in this year's draft. McDuffie, who is entering the final season of his rookie deal, is expected to sign a long-term extension with the Rams. In April, the Chiefs exercised the 5th-year option to McDuffie's contract, last April, that is, making his 2026 salary of $13.6 million fully guaranteed. Along with the number 29 pick, the Chiefs will receive a 2026 5th and 6th round pick and a 2027 3rd round pick. They needed picks. They need to revamp everything, and they need to get younger. Defense is older, not as good as it once was, and they really need help on the offensive side of the football, period. If they want to compete again, they really need to address a lot of issues. Reported by Todd Archer, who follows the Cowboys for ESPN. Cowboys have reworked Prescott, Lamb, and Smith deals. They are now under the cap. If anybody wants to know, the salary cap this year in the NFL is $301.2 million. The Cowboys were nearly $55 million over the cap before the moves, but the restructuring deals cleared around $66 million in cap space. So we'll have to see what the Cowboys do with that and how they approach it. With Jerry Jones in the mix, it's probably going to be shitty. Aaron Rodgers was on the Pat McAfee show, and he says his future remains unclear despite the Steelers hiring McCarthy. He said today on the show, there's been no deadline that's been put in front of me. There's no contract offer or anything, so there's nothing that I'm having to debate between. I'm a free agent. I'm enjoying my time with my wife and enjoying this part of the off season. And I think there's conversation to be had down the line, but not right now. But right now, there hasn't been any progressive conversations. I love Mike and I have always kept in some contact over the years. He also went on to say, I've had conversations with Omar Khan. I think Omar enjoyed having me there. I think the guys had a positive response to our time together. But again, there hasn't been any deadlines set on me. There hasn't been any contract floated in front of me for me to like, well, we're giving you like till March 8th to make a decision on this contract. There's been nothing to that respect. I don't know what the Steelers are going to do. I have no idea. Not a lot of options out there. I've heard Kyler Murray's name being mentioned, but he's coming off that injury. Missed the bulk of last season. If you're going to bring in Kyler Murray and you're going to move on from Aaron Rodgers, it'd probably only been on a one-year deal. So I don't know. I don't know what the answer is for Pittsburgh at the quarterback position. Kyler Murray gives you a running option. Depends how he's coming off that injury. I don't know where they would turn. When you look at some other options, there's really not a lot out there. Could you bring in a Malik Willis? His agent's probably going to ask for a lot of money. Is Malik Willis, could he be the future in Pittsburgh? Probably not. So I don't know what they're going to do, to be honest with you. The Los Angeles Chargers, they released Mekhi Becton. The move will save them $9.7 million against the salary cap. Chargers also announced that veteran tight end Will Dissly and tackle Savion Washington were also released. So the Chargers making some moves to save some money on the cap. The Arizona Cardinals and Carolina Panthers are set for the August 6th Hall of Fame game. Oh, whatever. I've said this before and I'll say it again. There should be two preseason games for the pros. And then if you want to have inter-squad scrimmages to see whoever else makes the team, then that's what they should do. I don't believe in preseason stuff, just like with Major League Baseball. When everybody reports in February, let the players go through the routines. Let them get acclimated to the nitty-gritty. And then once March 1st rolls around, then you have your first preseason games. Clemson football, they have hired former Packers special teams coordinator, Mr. Rich Bisaccia. Okay. He had previously worked at Clemson, I guess, so some familiarity there. And again, I went over this yesterday. The Cardinals are to cut Kyler Murray and a partridge in a pear tree. Other free agent stuff from today. I'm trying to look at the tracker here. This just popped up a few seconds ago. The Vikings are releasing former Pro Bowl defensive tackle Jonathan Allen. The Vikings are $40+ million over the cap, and they need to get under, thus the move, they're saying. What else? As I'm looking at the ticker here. They're coming fast and furious. The Dolphins have re-signed linebacker Cameron Good. Doesn't say what for, it just says they re-signed him. The Browns cornerback Anthony Kendall, he is to become an unrestricted free agent. The Browns have also tendered 6 exclusive rights free agents. Tight end Brennan Bates, wide receiver Malachi Corley, linebacker Winston Reed, Rex Sunahara, kicker Andre Schmidt, wide receiver Jamari Thrash. Chiefs have informed Jawan Taylor that he will be released today. He will become a free agent. The release will save the Chiefs $20 million under the cap. The Vikings are also placing exclusive rights tender on defensive lineman Jalen Redmond, per source. The Panthers have placed exclusive rights on free agent tenders on wide receivers Jalen Coker and Bryson Tremaine. The Packers are bringing back running back Chris Brooks, 2-year deal worth $4.85 million. What else from today? The Cowboys tender cornerback Reddy Stewart. The Buccaneers will not tender safety Christian Izien. So I was talking about Malik Willis earlier. But a deal could land him a deal worth $20 to $30 million per year. I don't know if teams will be willing to pay that. ESPN reporting there's a list of 6 teams that could be interested: the Browns, the Cardinals, the Dolphins, the Jets, the Steelers, and the Vikings. I don't think he's going to wind up in Pittsburgh. I don't think he's going to wind up in Cleveland. I don't think he's going to wind up at Zoda. The Dolphins, Jets, and Vikings would be intriguing. Because with Trey Hendrickson being gone from the Bengals now, Joe Burrow has to take a long look at that situation and say, do I want to be here? And I've heard reports for the last few months that the Vikings would make a play for him if the deal would be right. Because the Bengals defense, again, is something to be desired. And the offense can't continue to outscore people. And if Joe Burrow is going to constantly be hurt, he might need a change of scenery. So that's it on the free agent front. Just going down the list here. I am trying to find so ESPN did some sort of mock deals for where Malik Willis could wind up. They have 3 teams that opted to pass as far as their mock stuff went: Browns, Dolphins, Steelers. Teams that made mock offers: the Cardinals, Vikings, and the Jets. Again, I think the Vikings would be intriguing because I think J.J. McCarthy is going to be gone from that equation, to be quite honest with you. Some other news and notes. Yesterday, the Giants released middle linebacker Bobby Okereke. Move frees up $9 million in the salary cap. He was set to count against the cap about $14.46 million this year. Some of this have already been over. Khalil Mack says he intends to play in 2026. I guess he was mulling retirement, but he is coming back. Looks like the Ravens are targeting Lamar Jackson for an extension. And again, with the Ravens Bills, I get tired of talking about them just for the simple reason you have to prove it to me in the playoffs, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just looking on ESPN here. Seth Walder reporting they have given out grades in free agency. The OJ McDuffie, Trent McDuffie. They're giving this trade the Rams grade a C plus, the Chiefs an A minus. As far as the Rams go, they get a solid cornerback, but they sort of gave up sort of a little bit too much in my opinion. And the Chiefs get 4 draft picks, which they needed. The Lions, again, if you're living under a rock, they traded the running back Montgomery to the Texans. They gave the Texans grade a D and the Lions grade an A. Look, Nick Chubb, don't know what's going to happen with him. He hasn't looked the same since his injury a couple years ago. Jahmyr Gibbs is obviously the starter in Detroit. Does it make the Texans better? I don't know. The thing with the Texans is, and I said this before, excuse me, if the Texans receivers would not have been hurt last year, if they would have been at full strength, I think they could have made a solid push to the Super Bowl. But they were depleted. Defense was lights out. The offense was something to be desired. And again, CJ Stroud took a step back. So the Browns traded for offensive tackle Titus Howard, the Texans. And here it was a flip flop. They gave the Browns a D plus, Texans grade an A minus. The Jets, again, they traded for Tavondre Sweat, and the Titans got Jermaine Johnson. They gave the Jets an A minus grade. They gave the Titans a C minus grade. And you're really not going to know how these are going to pan out until they get out there on the field and see how they gel with the team. 6:20 here on the East Coast, 3:20 on the West Coast. 4 down territory. I'm your host, Ryan Neff, Cole County Entertainment Network, Goose Media. Welcome. Questions, comments, criticisms. Welcome. Again, the NFL draft at the end of April. So we're 8 weeks away from the NFL draft. I was trying to look for some other news and notes as far as the NFL goes. Sad. Lou Holtz passed away today, at the age of 89. He was in the NFL for a while. He coached the Jets. Looked like he died a hospice care. Cause of death was not given. In college, if you want to know, he had a 249, 132, and 7 record with 6 schools. He started off at William and Mary, then he went to NC State, then Arkansas, Minnesota, He won a national title in the 88-89 season with Notre Dame and South Carolina. He coached the Jets in 1976 with the team finishing 3-10. He went back in 1987-88 season under Lou Holtz at Notre Dame. Tim Brown won the Heisman Trophy, even though the team finished 8-4. Again, that 88-89 season, they finished 12-0. They beat number 3 West Virginia in the Fiesta Bowl that year to go on to win the Natty. Everybody thought that they were going to win the title in the 93-94 season, but that did not happen. He's third all-time in wins at Notre Dame, behind Brian Kelly's 106 and Knute Rockne's 105. He won 100. So thoughts and prayers out to the family and friends of Lou Holtz, legend in the world of college football, with one national title. Many other teams that were fantastic if you go back and take a look at his coaching record. So I think I'm going to end it there. Again, 4 Down Territory here with Ryan Neff, Cole County Entertainment Network, and Goose Media. Coming up at 7 o'clock, another edition of Early Evening Sports Buffet with DeGinch. I will get into all kinds of stuff, go over some scores. Again, we are T-minus 11 days till Selection Sunday for NCAA Men's March Madness. I believe. When is the women? Is the women's the same? Yeah, I think it's this. I think the women's is after the men on the same day, but I could be wrong on that one. So join me at the top of the hour, 7 o'clock. I will see everybody. And at 8 o'clock. Let me pull this up here, because I don't want to screw it up like I normally do. My man Mike Fuji, Fuji's Philly Flair at 8 o'clock tonight here on the Cole County Entertainment Network and Goose Media. He will have Philadelphia Sport Writers Association 2026 Courageous Award winner, Frankford High School head baseball coach, Juan Namun. Fuji is going to talk to him about the 3rd annual Coaches versus Cancer Baseball Fest, Saturday, April 11th, at the Philadelphia Phillies Urban Youth Academy, located at FDR Park in South Philly. Check him out at 8 o'clock on Fuji's Philly Flair. I will see everybody at the top of the hour for Early Evening Sports Buffet with DeGinch.
Lights are bright, the field's alive. 4 yards to glory where legends thrive. Ryan Neff's the name, the game's the grind. Big hits, big plays, the crowds a roar. Every inch matters when you're fighting for more.